Hey guys, just a quick note before we start the actual video. I know I do look ridiculous in this video. I look like this. Um, I just didn't want the video to go to waste, especially as I am planning to continue playing the game. So I hope you can just have a laugh at my expense and let's just continue with the actual video. Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another video on my channel. Today we're going to play some more Kyle is Famous and see how we can ruin his life this time. I really want to find out what is in the box in the pantry, with the little key, and perhaps what is in the locked door in the hallway. So that is what we're going to try to do today. We're going to try to get at least two endings. First of all, so we're going to skip through the intro because we have already watched that. And if you're interested in what the intro is, you can go watch my previous video. I will link to it in this corner, the clickable I button somewhere up in that corner. Cal's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Exit the bed because we need to find the desk. Cal exited his bed and took a quick glance around the room. Sit at desk. Cal made his way over to his desk and sat down, checking desk drawer. Cal opened the side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. Cal grabbed a small key he kept in his desk. Back to desk. Cal made his way over to his desk and sat down. Nope. Well, you can write a few quick notes for the interview. Is your mother a mother? Beef, mashed or blended? Third question. Do you ever smile? And his last question. Are you guilty? We already know she is, but of what? Cal ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got from his desk. Moved to kitchen. Cal walked into the center of the kitchen. Check pantry. Cal wanted to access the pantry but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Oh, it's not even a box in the pantry, it's the pantry being locked. But we do have the key. Unlock with small key. The pantry door lock creaked as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened. Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard. What does he use the lard for? I'm going to chug a bottle of lard because that sounds like a good idea. Kyle voraciously, is that how you pronounce it? Grabbed the closest bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all of the fat within a minute. Stop. Please stop. Cal walked to the center of the kitchen. I don't know. Can I grab a bottle of lard? I won't have 8 hours until my interview starts, and this isn't going well. Cal grabbed a bottle of lard and stashed it on his person for later use. What happens if I just leave the apartment? Will I go straight to the interview, or will something else happen? Oh, I can visit the tech store. Cal walked out on the downstairs neighbor. Cal walked out into the middle of the road and took a long pondering look around him. Visit the tech store. Cal walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. Ask attendant for free samples. Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers. The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample. Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out. Kyle firmly clamped his mouth around the outstretched phone, creating several teeth holes in the screen. What is the screen made out of? Kyle grunted and yanked with his head until the attendant let go of the phone. The phone is now Kyle's to use forever. Kyle hurried to the set. I'm so excited to see how poorly this will go. He's not wearing any clothes, is he? Or is he in his jammies? PJs? Some kind of sleepwear, I hope. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly returned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day. Uh, which I knew he hadn't because I never told him to. Cal waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Cal started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly. As it became apparent that Cal had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Cal was left all alone. Cal prepared by being a nudist. Sure. This was quick. Oh, I got to keep the phone. I have Cal's first decision of the morning was made wisely. I can browse social media. I will do that. Sounds interesting. Cal started to scroll through his news articles on his phone. Stayed up late with Kyle ranked number one and number two show on television. How is it ranked both number one and number two? New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating. Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. That's a hard sentence to say. Evidence points to perpetrator fleeing the country. Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight. She's already decided to leave the country. Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists? Didn't the downstairs neighbor in the last episode say that she used to put on a bug mask and play hero or something? I seem to remember that. Carl fails to show up to several charity events. It's apparently news. It's some news. News? I don't know. Bug Vigilante shows up to charity events with fresh baked pastries. Donations flourish. Hot dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both humans and tugboats. Phone model recalled. Techno Jim stores blame or reuse by customers. I'm just going to keep reading the news until we're called on set and see what happens. I really want to know. Cal's phone exploded in his hands from overuse. Oh, okay, I can't. Really wanted to. Carl exited his bed and took a quick glance around the room. It was dark and he could only really see his hanging shirt, but you really need something to wear. Wear a suit of armor. Carl decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. A suit of armor. Carl was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do. It usually does. After much squeezing and sweating, Cal managed to wrap the metal suit around his dump himself. Wrap? Okay. I don't know. Exit bedroom to hallway. Can I do something with the locked door? No, I will leave apartment. Visit tech store. Cal walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim. Give review of free sample. This phone, said Cal, is several years old and has exposed wires coming out of the back. Cal continued. The phone also has had screen issues after I used it to hammer nails into the wall for a painting. Furthermore, when I submerged it in water, I got severely shocked until it... no. Furthermore, when I submerged it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery. The tenant looked at Kyle, pursing his lips and said nothing. Pursed his lips and said nothing. Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave. He still had 4 hours until the interview. Kyle walked out into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Can't do much, can I? Visit the downstairs neighbor. Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. Consume Gabby. Breathe and start a conversation, or scream and spin. I will try to be nice this time. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. Ask Gabby about Kyle. Ask Gabby about Gabby. Ask Gabby about Rachel. Oh, I don't have any time. Gabby, Kyle asked, what are your true thoughts about Rachel May? Oh, Rachel, Gabby said. She's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad. Gabby trailed off, not meeting Kyle's eye. Why? Because I'm wearing a suit of armor? At least I'm clothed. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left. Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host's chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly this time. No? Yeah, I think it's genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded. Well, I can answer politely this time. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in a greeting. You're a most welcome guest. After other mild exchange of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take the places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor. What? From a combination of stressful preparation and not eating anything, Kyle had passed out. Poor Kyle. Nobody in the studio quite knew what to do with him. They began to poke Kyle in the back to see if he moved. After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off the lights, and went home. After a while, he was on air, passed out on the floor for a while? Okay, then. And Kyle was left face first on the floor. Kyle prepared by starving himself. We'll do one more because this is really fun. I think I will. I want to see if I talk to Gabby about Gabby. Kind of found something out. Kyle exited his bed, took a quick glance around the room. I want to open a closet, choose an outfit, just take the slick suit, because why not? Kyle miraculously crammed his his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for gossip. Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, friend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight Miss Dewars. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment. I think that's quite enough. Exit bedroom to hallway. Kyle walked into the center of the kitchen. Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Prepare breakfast. Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along with a small fruit cup of grilled sausage. Okay. Quickly, I need to talk to Gabby. That is the most horrible sound ever. Still. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed. Good on you, Kyle. Good on you. Carl walked to the center of the kitchen. Carl walked into the small hallway that connected again. Leave apartment, visit downstairs neighbors. Carl approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Carl expectantly. Greet and start a conversation. Oh, I can do that now. Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully. Gabby looked at Kyle expectantly. Gabby, asked Kyle, are you the bug vigilante? For a moment, Gabby looked stunned, but then she realized the seriousness. Gabby nodded once. The door shut in Kyle's face. Kyle walked out to the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. Kyle walked into the clean, white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim and an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. I want to steal him. Quickly before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Okay then. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, he's made out of cardboard. You can just jank at him and he's well, probably broken. But around the bolts he will loosen. He will rip, I think. Cal started to pull upwards forcefully. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Cal started to pull upwards forcefully. Because cardboard is that resilient. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind. As I said, because cardboard is that resilient. Cal glanced at the attendee. No, at the attendant. Cal glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside. Cal walked out into the middle of the road and took a long, pondering look around him. One more thing I can do is return to the apartment, but I will immediately be transported to set. Cal hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host's chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Cal approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Cal, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. I want to interview Techno Jim instead. Cal abruptly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed Techno Jim in her stead. Hello, Techno Jim, said Cal. I'm going to interview you today. Cal grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame. Cal's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned to the crew to go live. The cameraman moved, lights flashed, and suddenly the studio was in air. Hi, I'm Kyle, said Kyle, and tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest. He pointed at Techno Jim using his dismembered arm. Techno Jim started to smoke from the heat of the lights. Apparently cardboard is also flammable, as well as resilient. Would you like to introduce yourself? Asked Kyle. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well. Hi, Hi, Kyle, he said, raising the pitch of his voice. My name is Rachel May, and I'm a very special guest. Rachel's expression of confusion turned to shock. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly. Kyle gave Jim a meaningful stare. Wow, Kyle, he said. I sure wish I could look like you. In your slick suit. Techno Jim burst into flames. Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters. Within seconds, production equipment was doused in water. The set was soon abuzz with electrical fires. Kyle's crew abandoned their posts as cameramen and sound mixers to try to put out the fires. As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat motionless, staring forward. Eventually, the fires were all out. Kyle's producers shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame. Kyle's ratings skyrocketed. Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode. Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did. Rachel was very popular. And our final ending of the day is Kyle interviewed Rachel. So as you can see, we have a few more endings. We have the good interview, the no food, which was one of today's, no clothes, also one of today's, Techno Jim, also one of today's, and then had amnesia. Uh, and I think we're going to try to fill out the rest of all the endings here on this channel to see how ludicrous this game is. I love it. I love this game. You should play it as well. So guys, this is going to be it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this second episode of Kyle is Famous. Today we made him even more famous when he interviewed Rachel. So thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!